Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my name is at FeelThePaynePW, or Nick Payne if you prefer, and you're watching my 20th episode now on my F12020 MyTeam career. And if you haven't checked out my last videos, please go do so now. My last race, of course, it was at the American Grand Prix at Kota. I started in P16 due to a grid penalty. But from there on out, it was just about getting up as many positions as possible and get as quick overtakes. And as you can see, quite a nice overtake there on 3 cars through turn 1. So it was just about getting as many overtakes up the grid as possible. Obviously, I started P16, finished the race in P10, so just only getting 1 point in the race. But yeah, let's see how we get on in qualifying in this race. So as we come round the final corner, the start of our first qualifying session here in Mexico, of course, and you've got the very long start straight on the main pit wall, and you break around the 100-meter board there, cut the corner just about slightly, and then you go into the chicane of turn 2 and 3, then into the second DRS zone on the track, second out of the 3 DRS zones, break at the 100-meter board once again, around the corner, and now it gets to a very sort of technical part of the track from here on out. I do really like this part of the track as you go around the double right-hander at turn 6, as you come into the S section of the track. I did actually go a little bit deep into that turn, but it's not to worry as we go into the DRS zone. I do think I did that S section rather well after going deep, and I do think this is one of my favourite tracks. I do like coming to the Mexico track, or when I see it's the Mexico weekend. I do really enjoy it as we come around the corner, and actually Grosjean is holding us up through the last turn. Thankfully he does go into the pits, and we go across the line in P2. So a good result in the first lap of qualifying, but unfortunately for us it does drop down to P6, but we still are through regardless, so it's a moot point at this point. So we go through to qualifying 2, and we actually go P6 in our first lap in qualifying 2, but unfortunately for us we do drop down to P10, but thankfully we're just through in P10, so we do go through to the knockout into Q3, and we go across the line in P5 on our first lap, but that's before cars go out, so we do go set a quicker time, second quicker, but it's only quick enough for P6 unfortunately. And when we go out and stay out for our third lap, get as much out of the car, we only can go a total of P7, so that's where it looks like we're going to be in the race, but unfortunately for us that's not going to be the case, because I looked after qualifying and our ICE, our MGUH and our turbo all need replacing, so that's going to be a mass penalty once again, and we're going to have to start at the back of the grid just like we did at Singapore. So unfortunately for us, we're at the back of the grid, and we're going to have to work all the way back up through the grid.
Welcome along to the most populous city in North America, and home now to the Mexico City Grand Prix. It's a sellout crowd as usual here at one of the shortest circuits on the Formula One calendar. So who, I wonder, will the crowd cheer on today to the top step of the podium? The Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez, 2.6 miles of track that allows drivers to take full advantage of their cars, reaching speeds in excess of 220 miles per hour. And providing lots of opportunities for overtaking. The circuit features 17 corners, 10 to the right and the remaining 7 going to the left. And with me as usual is Anthony Davidson. Let's talk about the rookie. As ever, the threat of unreliability is never far away. Indeed, they'll be starting out of position today due to a power unit component change. So it's going to be a difficult task to move forward from there.
Everyone has to deal with penalties or reliability issues from time to time throughout their career. You just have to suck up the pain and get on with the job at hand. Today isn't about performing a miracle to put the car back where it should be. It's about effective damage limitation.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Valtteri Bottas lines up on pole position, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Leclerc, Vettel, Sergio Perez, and Ricciardo, Kvyat, Raikkonen, Gasly, and Max Verstappen, Aitken, Grosjean, Kevin Magnussen, and Ocon, Stroll, Norris. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. George Russell and Carlos Sainz, Albon, Latifi, Giovinazzi, and the rookie. That's it then. It's time to go racing as we head to trackside for today's race.
And as you can see, we're starting from the back. And as you can hear from our announcer, or our chief engineer, shall I say, he's announcing to us that we're starting from the back, and if we want a points finish, we're gonna have to fight all the way through. We're going to change the strategy to what I believe is right, and it's going to be a soft, medium, soft, two-stop strategy, of course, and we're going to go from lap 10 for a pair of medium, and then lap 25 get the last bit of energy out of the car when we're down on fuel at that point, and use the soft tyres to the best of their ability at that point. And as you can see, we've overfueled the car by a lap and a half to make sure that we've got enough down those straights to obviously go along beside it. As you can see, the grid penalty at the back of the grid, P22, and we're underway now. And we've got Giovinazzi, we're overtaking him quite quickly. Can we overtake Latifi? And we've got Albon in front of him. We look to make the overtake, but Sainz actually brake checks us, blocks us off down on the outside of the track. So we're going to switch to the inside, and we're going to overtake car after car after car after car. And we're side by side with the Haas of Grosjean. We're going to sail it round the outside, follow Jack, our teammates' path through, down in turn 3, and we're up. And we're side by side with Grosjean, but by the time we get to turn 4, we are ahead, and we're up into P13 now, and we're going to sail it past Jack Aitken and Stroll into turn 4. We're going to sail it past Kimi Raikkonen as well. We go down on the outside, we go into turn 6, he's got the inside, we sail it past him, and we're up 12 places from P22 up to P10 now, and we're not even finished the first lap. What a monstrous start from us, and I think that's going to be a great result if we do end up in this position at the end of the race, considering we've overtaken a total of Giovinazzi, Latifi, Albon, Norris, and we've made the move on Verstappen as well. So we're now up to P9. As I was reading the list, we're up another place now. We've overtaken Latifi, Albon, Norris, Sainz, Russell, Ocon, Grosjean, Giovinazzi, Magnussen, and Verstappen at turn 12 as well. So we're up a total of 11 places here, and we're not looking to stop. We're looking to gain. That's why I've got so much rich mixture and so much fuel in the car, so we can stay alive down this main straight. And we've got Gasly now, and we're looking to overtake him. We're sort of forcing him into an error as he runs over the curve, slowing his pace down. We're using the overtake. We're going to go to the outside of the track. He blocks us off, so we switch it to the inside, and that's another overtake as we set the purple first sector. And we're up now into P8 at the end of lap 1, going through into lap 2 now. As we've got Kvyat up ahead. Can we make a move on the other AlphaTauri? As we come through on lap 4, we've finally gotten to a point where we can make a move on the Russian here, as we're going to dive down the inside, fastest purple sector in sector 1 again, and we've got to give Kvyat the room down the outside. We do go through though, and we're up another place now into P7, as we've got Sergio Perez up next. And as we come across the line at the end of lap 5, end of lap 4, we get fastest lap. So that's going to be an extra point at the end of the race. And here, 1 lap later, And we've got Perez still ahead of us as Carlos Sainz takes our crown of fastest lap off us. And there's a safety car now due to Esteban Ocon out of this Grand Prix. It felt like I've said that quite a few times as I nearly overtake Perez accidentally. But I do feel like I've said Esteban Ocon's out of the Grand Prix multiple times this season. And we're just going to pit if they pit in front of us. And as you can see, they're both coming into the pits. So that means we're going to have to come into the pits, change our strategy. Originally it was a soft medium medium, if you remember, and I did change it to a soft medium soft. So we're going to come into this lap, pit for the medium tyre, hopefully get a jump on a few cars that are double stacking here as Jax goes through. And we're trying to exit, but cars are just passing by. But we do in fact jump Sebastian Vettel, who obviously was double stacking with Leclerc, but we're now up and we've actually passed Valtteri Bottas, who is near the front of the grid. I believe he was P1 in pole position of this race, so we've overtaken Vettel and Bottas in the pits, as we've got Verstappen in front of us as the safety car's ending now at the end of lap 8. And we're just going to have to look to see if we can stay in front of Vettel and Bottas now, as Bottas is on the soft tyres. He's on a different strategy to most of us. Verstappen also on the soft tyres, so we're going to have to try sticking onto his tail as much as possible and not letting Vettel or Bottas through if it's possible, if we can keep them behind as we go through the stadium section. Green flag's about to start waving, and now they are, and we're trying to stick with Verstappen, but he gets a great leap out of the final turn. We can't keep with him. He's on the soft tyres, remember. We're just trying to stay as much in his distance as possible. We're using as much overtake as possible with the rich mixture. Of course, we saved even more due to obviously the safety car making us get slower, and we're just going to try staying with him through turn 2 and turn 3 into turn 4, and hopefully we stay in ahead of both of the cars, and we are going to stay ahead of Vettel and Bottas now. But as we come through on lap 10, we've still got Verstappen ahead and Vettel and Bottas behind, and we're going to dive down the inside of Verstappen, hopefully force him into an error into turn 5. We're going to go round the outside now, and that looks like it's going to be a good move. We're leaving the room down the inside of turn 6, but that's another position up, and it's a great overtake. Even Jeff says it's a great overtake. As we go into the S section now, we've got Perez ahead. We've got to leave a little bit of a gap because we are quite quick through here, as we're right on his tail, and he does brake check us, and we're actually slow through that final corner. Verstappen does slip through, and that leads us to go slowly, and Vettel is actually going to come at us, and we're going to go 3 wide now through turn 12. Bit of barging, bit of contact from all 3 drivers here, and they're just both going to get through as we try going through down the inside, try switching back on them. But unfortunately it's not to be this time, as Vettel and Verstappen are both ahead of us now as we come across the line to end lap 10 for lap 11. Across the pit wall, DRS has now been enabled, and we're going to have to make a move here. We've got to try sticking onto Vettel's behind into his gearbox as we use as much overtake as we can, not too much because we're going to need it down the next straight, and we're going to dive down the inside of turn 1 and go up back into P14, but we're still behind Verstappen unfortunately, so we're going to have to try sticking with him. But thankfully Vettel has gone slow through turn 2 and 3 due to us overtaking him and doing the dive. And as you can see, Verstappen's actually diving down the outside of Latifi, forcing him into a mistake, and we're just going to actually follow Verstappen's line through, take the inside line into turn 6, and that's going to be another position that we've overtaken now, and we're up into P13 at lap 11. And Verstappen is still in front of us unfortunately. Thankfully we do have DRS on him, and we're going to have to see if we can make a move here, as he's doing the same thing as he did on Latifi, but this time on the Italian of Giovinazzi, and we're just going to do the exact same thing we just did on Latifi. We're going to follow Verstappen through and make the overtake. We go deep into turn 6, which allows Giovinazzi to have a look down the inside, but thankfully for us we stay in front. And there's fighting going on ahead between Perez and Verstappen. Can we make a move here? We're side by side with Perez, and I think we've made the move work as we use both of their slipstream to make both of them the move work. We go to the inside of turn 4, and we actually are up now in to P5. Great work from us, as don't forget we started in dead last on the grid. And we've got Kimi Räikkönen up ahead, who started on the hard tyres, remember. We've obviously pitted for the medium tyres, so it's a clear advantage for us. And with DRS, it is a clear and easy overtake for us down on the main straight before we even get to turn 1. And we're up another place now into P4. And we come across the line to end lap 16. And we go fastest, so we retake our crown as the fastest lap, as we've got Ricciardo up ahead here on lap 18. Finally got DRS on him, and we're going to look to make another move into turn 4, just like we have done with so many other cars this race, and down the inside, and we're up another place now, and it's up to P2 now due to cars pitting. So we're up into the very good podium positions, hunting down Leclerc. And as we come round the final corner at lap 21, Leclerc is in the pits. We're going to be boxing this lap, but most importantly, we're up into P1, and we're going to try and see if we can hold on to this position after we come out in the pits now, as we come round into turn 1, and hopefully we can stay out ahead, as we've got a 12-second gap to Vettel behind us, Stroll behind him, and Raikkonen behind them. Leclerc just behind that as well in P5. Can we stay ahead? Don't forget, we box in P1. And I believe Vettel will most likely be coming into the pits as well. As you can see, he is, and so is Stroll. So we come out. We're currently in P1 for the time being, but Raikkonen is now going past, as you can see, to the side. And so is Leclerc. Leclerc's going to make the move on Raikkonen most likely into turn 1 because he's on the fresher tyres. And as you can see, Leclerc is now ahead. We've come out ahead in front of Hamilton. So the overcut strategy on Hamilton has worked to a treat here. And we're up into podium places from last on the grid, remember. I can't let that go understated enough. I've went from dead last on the grid up into P3. And Kimi Räikkönen's yet to pit. He started on those hard tyres, remember. He's doing a great job up in P2, but he will pit and he will fall down the order. So we've just got to try getting him as quickly as possible, not having silly work of it. Try pulling away from Hamilton as we have. Don't forget, it was about under a second when we came out of the pit lane, and now we're up quite a few, over half a second, or a second and a half, should I say. So we're looking to make a move on Kimi Räikkönen. We go fastest through sector 2. We dive down the inside of turn 12, and it's another easy move on the Finnish driver. As we come through, we're in P2, remember. We've got Leclerc up ahead. Can we catch him? Can we make a move? Can we get from P22 to P1 as Leclerc goes fastest in the lap? But we're going to come round on the very next lap and take the throne back, and we go fastest in this Grand Prix at the end of lap 24. Can we make a move here on Leclerc? He's just over a second ahead of us, a second and a half ahead. Can we make a move here as it's lap 26 now, and we've got 10 laps to go. We're going to look to make a move here. We've got DRS. We're going to dive down the inside, late braking. He does turn in on us, but we make contact, giving them room into turn 5, but we're up into P1 now from dead last in the grid, and we go fastest in sector 1. Can we keep this lead? Can we maintain it? Can we keep until the very last, till the very end, as we come across the line? And it's the final lap of the race, and we've got a 3-second gap as we come into the stadium section, and there's back markers ahead as the fireworks and the celebration and the confetti are all going off in the stadium section as we come around the final corner to end this race, going from P22 up into P1 with a great win from Payne Racing. 26 points on the board. What a result. Fully deserving of driver of the day. I don't even need to see it come up because you just know that I've gone from P22 to P1. If I didn't get driver of the day, it'd have been an absolute fix. Great result for the team there.
Victory in Mexico then, and what a victory it is after an incredible Grand Prix. What do you think it was, Ant, that gave them the edge over the competition today?
Without a doubt, the safety car changed everything today. The key to their success was keeping calm and reacting to the situation quickly. We've seen teams in the past throw away wins because they were too hesitant, but here they were decisive, and that's allowed them to take the advantage.
Show-stopping performance from the 3 drivers approaching the podium right now. It's been an interesting Grand Prix, that's for sure.
And as you can see, it is 26 points in total. So a great result for us. Great load of points. So I can't overstate. I just can't believe I went from P22 to P1 in the first season as well, let alone in any race. So a great result for us. Obviously, I said at the start of the video that I do like this circuit. This is one of my favourite circuits on the calendar. And we stay P6 in the World Drivers' Championship, but we do bridge our gap, obviously, to Alex Albon, and we do close the gap to Sebastian Vettel, but it's going to stay in P4 as well in the Constructors, just like it has been for so many other episodes, for it has been for so long now, P6 and P4. But yeah, after such a great episode, I hope you do smash the like button. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Any thoughts on the episode, please comment them down below. I do like reading them. I've been at FeelThePaynePW. Enjoy the rest of your day. Goodbye.